Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to talk about meditation. And I want to say that meditation is a way of life. It's not a ritual. It's not words. It's not any particular thing. It's a way of life. Like breathing is a way of life. You could say that breathing is a way of life. Without breathing, we don't have any life. And so, meditation is very similar. When you breathe, you empty your lungs and you take in fresh air. And then you extract something from that, and then you breathe it out. And so that's the way meditation is. Meditation is a hungering and a thirsting. Christ talked about hungering and thirsting after righteousness. And he said, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness." And you could also say a yearning or a seeking. He said, "Seek, and you will find." Seeking, we could think of various synonyms or analogous synonyms for seeking. It would also be searching. It could be yearning, wondering, questioning. You see there's something refined about searching and about wondering. It's not just desiring, although that's another word. But the word searching, especially the word yearning, is particularly nice. So if you yearn for what? Yearn for truth. Yearn for what's right. See, there's something very wholesome about truth. It's more than just truth. I don't think it's a very good term, but I've used it before. It's a package deal. It includes everything. Maybe you can remember when you were a little child and there was someone who was very, very nice. And you just loved to be around that nice person. It might have been a really nice grandma or grandpa or aunt, someone nice. It could even have been an older brother or sister or someone, but they were nice and there was something good there. Do you remember? And do you remember that when you were a child and you maybe did something wrong, you hated your mommy and said something really mean to her or to your brother or something, and then you felt bad. And then when you went to your mommy or to your daddy to say you were sorry, do you remember that there was something wholesome and good and pure and sweet that you wanted to be back a part of? And somehow by saying sorry, reconnected you with that good. Do you see? Something good and noble. Have you ever gone somewhere to some place that wasn't good at all, that was bad? Or you did something that was bad? And you wanted so much to get back to what you had before, which may have been a place, but more likely it was a state. It was a state of being, a state of mind, a feeling of being okay and happy and free and connected with something good and something wholesome. I can't think of the words to put to it. You'll just have to see in your own memories of times when you maybe strayed and you wanted to get back to what's good and pure and wholesome and true and right. Well, that's what I'm talking about, a yearning for that. So it's not just truth. It's not just what's right. It's not just being forgiven. It's not just safety. It's not just acceptance. It's all of that combined in something good. And can now you get a glimpse of what paradise is like? Paradise is that feeling of being in a warm, noble, clean, happy, free, sweet, wholesome, place. And being a part of it and appreciating it, that's what paradise is. And so, yeah, on earth there you could have an analogous at a lower level, a place where the air is warm and fresh, and you have beautiful flowers and fruit and lush greenery and beautiful water, a lake or a river, a pond, and beautiful animals, beautiful swans and ducks, and it's so wholesome. It's so rich with goodness. Do you understand? So that's it. It's that yearning. And so that's what meditation is all about, is yearning for that and finding it and staying with it and becoming more and more a part of it and closer to it. And yes, falling away a little bit and then scurrying back. That's what it is. It's a way of life. And it's a way of... So now do you see that just as when you breathe, you must breathe out the old and take in the new. And so you must breathe out the old or leave behind the old or turn from the old and breathe in the new. Whatever God has for you, every day He'll have something, a little realization, a little insight, a little time, a little peace, a little something He'll have for you every day, a little something to do, something to move toward. You won't even know what it's going to be. I'll never forget. And this brings up another discussion, and that is it's the little things. It's the little things that you must learn to watch for, the little things. We tend to think that we have to fill up our mind with tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. No, empty your mind. Go out into the world like a little child and then notice some little thing. I remember I was listening to the radio and a lady was talking about the meditative state, and she said, it's so sweet. She said, in the morning I go out into the garden and I don't even know what I'm going to do. And when I heard that, I said, yes, that's it. You don't even know what you're going to do. And then somehow you do a little this and a little that. And it's a beautiful day, and it was as God wanted. So now, meditation. We tend to fill ourselves up with ideas and with notions and with imagination. And everything on the outside triggers the imagination. See, you have become totally hypnotized. You have a hypnotic relationship with everything around you. And it came because when you were a little child, you were upset, and it grew and grew and grew. But now, the relationship that you should have with what I talked about earlier with the kingdom of God, with the paradisical state, with something good and true and wholesome and rich and pure and sweet and innocent. Your relationship with that has been set aside, and instead now you have a hypnotic relationship with the outside. Everything gets into you. Everything gets in. And yeah, you have sought things to get in, haven't you? You've looked for images to get in, and feelings and sensations and other people's approval and pleasure and excitement, and you've looked for things to get in. But now you must see that a life of everything getting in, to the point that you can't stop it. You know, it's like the dam breaks and everything rushes in, because that way of living, that hypnotic relationship or rapport with everything on the outside, then it establishes it as being not your paradise, but becomes a jungle hell. And it gets in and you can't keep it out. And then it's in your mind. And your thoughts swirl and you can't stop them. And you worry and fear and doubt and decide and plan and scheme and look back over the past and regret. And you understand now. So you must find a way to step out of that maelstrom of thought step out. Just step out of it. And, it's like, have you ever been like on a merry-go-round? It's nice, but it goes round and round and round and round, and maybe, I don't know, you don't want to be on the merry-go-round anymore, and so you step off. You step off. It was going too fast for you. You step off. Or you're on an escalator and you step off. You know how it is, then you're back on solid ground again and not going round and round and round. You need to step off of that swirling round and round and realize that everything in your mind has been set off. There's some kind of a rapport. The outside is a stimulus. What people say causes images in your mind, and what they say causes you to start thinking and planning and wondering and trying to figure things out. You have to set that beside. So realize that you don't know. All you have is this hodgepodge of things that got in. So realize that hodgepodge, you're not going to find the meaning to life there. You're not going to find answers there, and you're not going to find the kingdom of God there in that hodgepodge, that maelstrom, that squirrel cage of thinking and imagination and emotions. So you just step off of it, and you observe. In other words, like I always say, you take a mental step back and then just observe. Observe all of that swirling round and round. And you're the observer of it. Instead of being lost in it, instead of going round and round with it, you're now standing and watching it. You're the observer. And yearn for something good and pure. Deep in your heart. Want to know the truth. Want to know what it is that's missing in your life. That's what meditation is all about. And the little meditation that I have the little 8-minute meditation, it simply facilitates getting started. Sometimes we need something to get us started. You know what I mean? You got to make a start. And the start is really within. It's really a within. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and now you want to know the truth. You don't care what it is, even if it shows you to be wrong, you don't care. If it shows you to have made mistakes, and it shows you to be filled with resentment and anger, and it shows you to be making foolish decisions, you don't mind because you just want to know the truth. Okay? And so that's exactly what meditation is all about. So may I recommend that you get started. Now's I was going to say as good a time as any. Now's the best time. You've heard the old Chinese proverb, when's the best time to plant a tree? And then the answer is 10 years ago. And when's the second best time? Today. So get started today. Get the little meditation and give it a try. It's so simple. It's so simple. It could do you a world of good.